Welcome, everybody. Look at the good new. Look at that. It's all pretty in here. It's kicking out of two, where
Because you've been
with,
snowed in all day and ain't had shit to do.
well, that too. Uh, it, Welcome to Kicking Out of Two, where you two, with dedication and a lot of luck, can yeet like me. Yeet. No? Okay, well. This is my auditory tag team partner, Tori. Tori, how you doing?
I'm doing alright. Trying to stay warm. It's fucking cold outside.
It is. It is freezing outside. I went outside earlier. I can't find my coat. Found out my coat's in the car.
Oh, it's 8 degrees and feels like it's negative 24.
Hey, so just a throwaway question. Why is it not just the other number? I've never understood this
Because the
premise.
actual because the actual temperature
Mhm.
is 8 degrees, but because of how hard the wind is blowing,
Yeah,
it gives the feel of 24, but that's not the actual temperature.
but
That's why.
but if it feels negative 24, then wouldn't that be what the temperature is?
Are we on Twitter and Twitch, YouTube?
It should be Twitter and YouTube.
No, it shouldn't be though, because it's not the actual temperature. It's just the feeling of a different temperature. Yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's what it
Don't
is.
make no damn sense. Because if the wind's blowing, it's making it colder. I get that. I get that it makes it colder because the wind's blowing. But then technically the temperature's lower, right?
No.
I don't get it. All right. We got some news to talk about today. Then we've got our three counts. But before we do that, I have been sitting on this package for 2 days now. And I gotta do
Driving you
this.
crazy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been driving me nuts. So we're gonna do this quick unboxing. So when medium-sized Mike's taxes came in, he decided he was gonna order from his Pakistani friend. There's a Pakistani friend, he's the one that made that one. Get me something I've been wanting for a long time.
Yes, you have.
Here's the box. Oh, probably shouldn't put my address on there. May not be a good idea. Comes all bubble wrapped. Fancy bubble wrapping. You can kind of see what the belt is there. I did. So there was two options. There was an option to go with 2mm plates and 4mm. I did go with a 4mm. Make it a little bit more hefty. Oh, it's bubble wrap over here.
You've wanted this one for a while.
What's that? Oh yeah.
You've talked about this belt for a while.
Because to me, this is the belt. Like, people talk about their favorite designs and all that, and they talk about Winged Eagle and Big Eagle and all that stuff. To me, the design of this belt is just beautiful. The only thing I wish
And
it would what
the way they used it
mm-hmm.
was really good, really well done too.
Yeah, the gimmick, the whole thing was amazing. The only thing I wish it did, yeah, it doesn't. So it is the Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods belt.
Little discs don't come out. That's what you were wishing they did, right?
Yeah, I wish the coins came out because that was the gimmick. So the gimmick, for those that don't know, by the way, I think it's still on Netflix, so go back and watch it if you haven't. A wonderful program.
Is it?
I think so. If not, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. But the whole idea was they would have these little tournament matches. And the tournament matches, you would get a coin. And so each coin is one of the Aztec gods. And the coins would fit in these little slots. So everyone that won one would get the coin, they'd put it in the slot, and then it would be a match with everybody that got a coin for this belt. So great gimmick. I loved it. Wanted the belt, got the belt. Need you to get your office so we can work on getting you some stuff. But yeah.
It says you can buy it on Apple TV and Amazon.
Oh, okay. I kind of look
But
at the
it doesn't
detail
look
a
like
little
it's
bit there.
showing.
Like,
Those are nice.
really nice detail on it. The coins are beautiful. Got that leather smell too, which I like.
Oh yeah.
So after tonight, that'll be right up there next to the dad belt.
Nice. Nice.
It's heftier though. Like I went for the 4 millimeter. Feel it.
That's a
A lot heftier than that dad belt. Got 10 people watching us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and drop some news. So yeah, we are gonna start with Ring Apocalypse or Ring Spiracy or whatever we want to call it. First of all, the main thing that happened is at Grand Slam, it was obvious that they had a smaller ring. Some of the rumors that had been going around was they didn't want to, they were too cheap to have their own shipped out there. Some rumors that it was a 16 by 16 ring instead of a 20 by 20.
They normally so Dustin confirmed they normally Dustin or QT.
It's QT.
They normally use an 18 by 18.
Yeah.
That's their normal ring. And he said they never planned to travel with one.
Yeah.
There was no plans to take one.
Yeah. They know people though did notice it looked a bit smaller. And it did. Like, it did look a little awkward. Even I have to admit, watching the show, some of the spots seemed out of place, and that's probably because like there's a few good steps that you got to cut out of your normal run through in order to get that to work. Some people are saying that like Buddy got a little tweak in his ankle, and they were blaming it on the ring. He did it while he was flipping into the ring, like during his entrance. So I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how that would have been because of the ring, because he literally like he landed in the corner the same as he would. Yeah, it just I think it was his left ankle. He didn't land flat-footed. His ankle was twisted a little bit. So I don't think that had anything to do with it. But yeah, the size is common. They do use 18 by 18. Typically in the US, we're used to 20 by 20. And I know they said that they've used 18 by 18 before in other pay-per-views, and we haven't really noticed that. So should be fine. I don't know why there was such a big deal about it. But like
because
specifically,
one person who likes to act like he has something to do with the company and doesn't felt the need to run off at the mouth, and because his Twitter handle has the words the letters AEW in it, everybody thinks that he's part of the company. And several, like Sean Rossap was like, "You don't work there.
Yeah.
You don't know anyone that works there. You're just making shit up."
Yeah. So the false rumors were debunked. Like specifically speaking of 18 by 18, I read a little bit differently, and maybe it was just what I read. But they do typically use 20 by 20, but they've used 18 by 18 when they needed to.
Okay.
Like specifically like the steel cage match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, that show was an 18 by 18 because that's what they had available there.
Ricky Starks' new name is Ricky Saints.
That's not bad. That's better than the Key and Peele sketch list of names that we read out last time. Like, so we're good. He's not Ricky Shabazabad.
I just
Darius Quatarius.
that shit was funny. I just don't.
Well, but the thing is, though, before we throw any dirt on it, that may not be WWE doing it either, though. It may be him. He may not. He may have said, "I'm not signing over my name, so let's get something similar, and you can have it." So that could be that. He's a big enough talent. He's going to do fine under a new name, especially with it being so similar of a name, and he's still using, the same gimmick that he had with being
Absolute.
There we go. That's the word I was trying to think of. And the Revolution being televised. Like, he's still using the same shtick, so I'm sure he'll get out of that just fine. But yeah, the other rumor that got debunked though was that AEW forgot their ring. Apparently that was in question too. No, they did not forget it. They did not plan on bringing it with them.
They didn't just randomly borrow one. Like this
Yeah.
is.
I will say, though, just looking at it as a, like, I've never been in the ring, and that's not my type of thing. But being in certain sports and certain activities that involve space, if you change that space too much, it messes with the product.
It
So
does.
I would say if you're normally doing 20 by 20, going to 16 by 16 is a bit much, because
It's a big
that's
difference.
a massive difference. So maybe we think about that in the future, but I don't think it was too bad. There was just a couple of things that looked a little awkward, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with there's just 4 less feet than what we're used to.
Right.
Michelle McCool had a wonderful interview. Her interview with Chris Van Vliet. Love watching that guy. He's banging out so many interviews right now. We've got a new Penta one that just dropped, a Ludwig Kaiser one that just dropped, where he talks about his relationship with Tiffany and all that going on. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. But in hers, he asked a little bit about, like, hey, do you look back at your time there and think, hey, we weren't utilized the way we should? Well, her response to that brought something to light that nobody really knew. There was a specific match between her and Victoria that she and her went out there and they had this banger of a match. They get back to the back and the agents are telling them to go back out there and redo the match. And they're like, why? Well, because your punches look better than the guys. So we need you to go out there and, like, girl it up. So they were telling them to look worse on purpose. That is insane to me.
I'm sure they love that she's telling people this right after they announce she's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm sure that made them real happy to see.
Yeah. Our favorite guy that we like to make fun of currently, Chris Jericho, he did speak up when that happened, though. Like, he was backstage when that specific statement happened about that match, and he said if the guys' punches don't look that good, it's not the girls' fault.
It's not.
Don't punish them because the guys aren't looking good.
This goes to the conversation that we had, I guess it was technically Sunday, watching Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference I see between the two is how much better punches, forearms, stuff like that look in WWE and NXT compared to AEW, and that's why it gets the rap that it does. And I don't know who that's on, because Moxley's and Claudio's don't look good either.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with angles, to be honest. I have seen some moves that we know look amazing, but they get that wrong camera angle, and you see that they missed them by a mile. I think a lot of that has to do with that, too. Another thing that got thrown into because of this, though, and I'm gonna have to go back now and watch some old matches to see if I can catch this. She says at that point, for about 3 or 4 weeks after that incident, they said girls could not kick or punch in their matches. Like, that was not something you could do. So they took that offense completely away. Absolutely insane that they're doing that. She did also mention her induction to the Hall of Fame, how happy she is about that. She was also
well deserved and long overdue.
Absolutely. Hopefully there's a Layla along with it at some point, because like, I love Michelle McCool, but the biggest chunk of her good work was part of
LayCool.
So
I really hope she brings Layla up there and makes a big deal about Layla.
Well, if nothing else, Layla should induct her.
Yes.
But there is a discussion as far as, like, if she thinks she can go with some of the girls today. She says that's why she loves going into the Rumbles, because she gets to kind of have some short-term fights with some of these girls and gets to actually, like, work the way she wanted to work back when she was doing it full time. Just as also a little tidbit, she did also mention that she was one of few people that knew that the streak was ending.
Yeah, and she said he was like, whatever, it's business, and she wasn't happy about it.
Which, understandable. Like, that's that's the love of your life, and you're being told that the biggest thing attached to him is now not going to be a thing anymore. That's crazy.
Well, and I agree with her. You know, um, it's not something that needed to be broken. It didn't need to
it
be,
didn't. At least
and
not
especially to
the way
somebody
it
like
did.
Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was one of the ones that I did fight for it a little bit once I heard what the thought process was, because the thought process was you have him beat it, look legitimate, and then like he left that, and that's when he did the beat down to John Cena, the beat down to Randy Orton, taking out the top names, to then lose to Roman Reigns. Like I get the build up to it, but that win with Roman Reigns that wasn't the start of his meteoric rise. So it didn't do what they expected it to do.
No.
If they're going to do it, they should have done it to a Bray Wyatt, to a
Yes.
Roman Reigns the first time.
CM Punk.
A CM Punk. Yeah.
I didn't think about this when we were talking about Ricky's name. He's from New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
The Saints.
A little bit of pandering there. That's good.
Yeah.
A little bit of good news for at least WWE people. WWE has increased its talent minimum pay. So previous baseline, Triple H stated in 2021 that Raw and SmackDown talent made at least $250,000 per year. The new minimum is $350 per year. They bumped it up $100 a year. I just want to go. I'll be pinned for $250 a year. If you want to pay me $350 a year, I'll do it. I'm just saying, pin me, pay
I'll
me.
sit in catering all year. Like,
contract flexibility. Obviously, the deals vary depending on who it is. Some perks are negotiable. Travel costs. WWE now covers the airline, but hotels and rental cars are still on the wrestler's responsibility.
So they gave them a raise, but all they have to cover is hotel and car.
Mm-hmm. I think the raise, just because we're talking 2021, was the baseline, and I think that had been the baseline for a while. I don't know that for sure, but I was kind of trying to keep an eye on like what the range was, because to me that was always fascinating. Because like I remember at one point Bret Hart had a $3 million contract and he was losing every week in WCW. So I'm like, you're basically a jobber and getting paid.
Ricky's first feud is going to be Wesley.
That's good. I'm good with that. But so I think it was more of a like almost like a cost of living type of thing. Like just things are getting more expensive. Things have been getting more expensive, so we're gonna bump you up a little bit. I think it's a good thing for them. So with these numbers, though, do you think WWE's doing enough for the talent, or do you think they should do more?
They should absolutely do more.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that they should be covering everything. And I know they have on-staff positions and so on, but you should have benefits just like any other job. I will say they're better about like time off, things like that. Like it's obvious people are not working 50 weeks a year anymore.
Right.
300 days a year, whatever it is.
My curiosity, so like I've always been a big proponent of like I agree with Jesse on that it should be unionized. There should be something behind that to have insurance and a plan for the future and all that. But we hear like situations where, Triple H tore his quad. WWE paid for all of that to get him back up.
Right.
Stone Cold's
But are they
neck.
doing that?
The stuff recently with Randy.
Are they doing that for somebody that's making the minimum?
Well, and that's my point is I would like to hear from one of the lower card folks, a Joaquin Wilde. If Joaquin breaks his leg doing one of those big jumps that he does off the ropes when they bounce him so high, are they covering that for him? Because if they are, then okay, I get it. We're not going to give them insurance because we're paying for it anyway.
Right. If you're paying for it anyway, cool. Like whatever. But I definitely Oh, I guess Ethan Page came out and said something to Ricky too. Interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, they've crossed paths before, so that makes total sense for that to happen.
yeah.
But yeah, I think about the insurance thing, and like I've always had a problem with insurance. Um, like car insurance was always the big thing to me. Of like, I think it should be in case shit happens, and so at the end of the year, you get a percentage of that money you paid in back because nothing happened.
Right.
Um, because so I understand it on that front of if WWE is saying, well, we're not going to pay for all this insurance for every wrestler on the card because we're talking what 100 200 people. We're not paying for insurance all them because not everyone's getting hurt. So we'll just pay when someone does get hurt. That to me, that's a fair trade if that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I'd still like
it
to know,
is.
like that lower card person, are they counting that? Or like
Yeah.
on flip side, they do a squash match with Braun Strowman with two local guys. If he accidentally busts up one of the local guys, does WWE
Right.
fit in that bill? Because now you just took away that guy's livelihood. Like,
Yeah.
I would just be curious to know that. So that's something I'd like to hear more about. So, 15 people watching us. So that's our news for the day. Anything new aside from Ricky Stark's new name coming up?
No. I'm Moose showing up in NXT is going to be interesting.
Moose
That's
showing
definitely
up's
going to be an
weird.
interesting watch tomorrow.
Yeah, Moose showing up is weird. I've never been a big Moose fan. However, the idea of him facing Oba, I'm kind of into. And
That's kind of like the video you sent me. That's big meaty men.
yeah, big meaty men slapping meat. That's
you sent me that. That's crap. Because I knew what it was as soon as I saw the little just screen capture of it. I was like, oh god.
Yep. I love that. I watch that clip at least once a month because it's just hilarious every time I see it. All right, well, we are going to do our 3 count. So scrolling at the bottom here, just for those that are new to the program, the 3 count is basically we have all these other shows. We have friends of our program here, people that host other shows, and a lot of them go into detail about everything that's happening in all the programs all at once. We did that for a while, and frankly, we got bored with it. It's because it's just reading the same stuff that we hear everybody else talking about. So we decided we're going to stop doing that. So we pick 3 things out of the wrestling zeitgeist around us, from anywhere. It could be AEW, WWE, TNA. It may not even be program related necessarily. It may just be something wrestling in general that's happened in the last week to discuss and bring up. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go first this week. So you said your first one was Harley and Mercedes from Grand Slam,
Which was how much better Harley has gotten in the short time. I know she was in Stardom for a little bit, but she wasn't. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think she had a lot of matches.
I don't think she did. I think she's fairly still green.
She first of all is the most entertaining thing they have on TV. Yeah. Hands down, without a doubt. Now I was curious about how long she's been wrestling. The puppet of Mercedes was genius.
Hashtag sell the puppet.
Yes.
Why we're not already doing this still fascinates me. WWE, if you believe the backstage hype, last minute brought Alexa Bliss back in with the gimmick that she's currently doing. Like was she going to be more of the goddess? Was she going to be more of the dark spooky stuff? Is there going to be Lily thing? That means if they did do that last minute, they came up with this Lily doll last minute too, new design. They had that stuff in the shop during the Rumble.
Yeah.
How do you not have this puppet already in on your shop, ready to go?
So basically, and she her ex partner is Zion Quinn from NXT.
Didn't know that.
And he's what it got her interested. She started training in 21 at Flatbacks with Tyler and Spears.
Good teachers.
So she started training in 4 years. That's crazy. February of 22 was her first match.
Hmm.
And she lost to Scarlett.
Okay.
I just in that. So in just over 3 years, this is where she's at. Like, that's crazy progress.
Yeah.
The match itself was solid. I 100% think they made the wrong call, but then again, I thought they made the wrong call on a lot of those matches. So
yeah, I think pretty much every match except for the one that I expected to go.
The main event, yeah. And
to that point, I'll throw this here. Like, to me, I thought the right way to go with that is have Harley win it, and then we start this downward spiral in Mercedes, because she's been at the top for a long time, and I think we need to rebuild this character. And so have her lose that title to a brand new person, quote unquote brand new.
Yeah.
And then like have her start losing the other titles and start like we almost get like a bum ass Monet situation. You know, she shows up, she's not put together, she doesn't have like the swagger that she had.
Her wig's on crooked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great how well she did, and just the like the picture that's been floating around the internet of her when she peeked back up over the ring apron with the doll
with the other puppet.
Yeah,
it was a second one.
Was it
the first one was still laying by the announce table?
Oh, I didn't know it was a second puppet.
Yes,
it's like WrestleMania with the second ref all over again.
Right. On a side note, Mackenzie Mitchell has signed with TNA.
Nice.
She went back to TNA.
Yes.
So,
which is good because they just let go of their announcer, and Joey Matthews, or not Joey Matthews, Josh Matthews.
Josh Matthews, and they also let Christy Hemme go.
Yeah, which was doing their ring announcing. That was so them bringing her in to take that spot back. I think is a good shot. She's good at it. Your second one, you want to talk about Sammy and KO, and Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
That promo on Monday. First of all, the promo from Sammy was amazing. But then the promo from Scrap Daddy. That was the best promo of the night.
And the finishing it with "That's not official, that's unsanctioned" was genius.
So where do you go with this? Like, I think we want this at Mania, right?
Yeah, we're getting this at Hell in
well, no, I know we're getting that.
I don't think it should happen. It should happen in Mania.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if we get like a double down situation. Like, it ends in no contest because they just beat the living shit out of each other.
And then you run it back a month later?
Yeah. And then run it back
in
one of the gimmicks in Hell in a Cell, and like something where there has to be an end.
These two are literally going to beat the ever-loving shit out of each other.
Yeah.
This is the current times Sean Hunter.
Yeah.
Because those matches were so good because of how much they trusted each other and
the chemistry between the two.
Excuse me. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to see an amazing match, especially with it being unsanctioned, because we're going to see some crazy shit.
I know we're getting 2 chamber matches. This may be the match of the night.
It may be. Well, because chamber matches to me, like, The men's this year is a little different. But usually it's like you have a couple of people that you know one of them's going to win, and then you have filler for the rest of it. Like these guys are in here to do a spot and have some fun and be on the
Here's
card.
the thing, though. With the men, actually, with both of them, I have no idea who's going to win.
The women's, I have a better idea. The men's, like, I know who I'd want to win, but as far as like who they're actually going to, trailer their horse to, I have no clue.
Okay, so who do we have in this match? Seth and Roxanne. Okay. So we have, for the women, Naomi, Liv, Bailey, Alexa, Roxanne, and Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
I really have to change the stupid Google thing. I honestly, I don't see anybody but Bianca winning. Roxanne could, but she's not beating Rhea.
No.
Did Charlotte officially select Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, I missed
she
that.
did on SmackDown.
Okay. The men's match. That, first of all, the amount of talent in there is
You could
insane.
give it to anyone in that match.
Yeah. Okay. Cena, Punk, Drew, Logan, Priest, and Rollins.
Yeah.
Honestly?
And don't we still have one more spot?
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
So Seth closed it out.
Oh, that's
Monday.
right. That's right. That's right.
I know this would upset a lot of people. I'd like to see Damian win it.
Yeah.
Damian Cody at Mania? And I understand there's not a lot of story there. The whole point of this is storyline stuff.
Yeah.
But I really hope that I'll just beat the monkey piss out of Logan Paul. And he's the first one eliminated.
Yeah. So I have two hopes as far as winning it.
Okay.
The first one is Punk, because Punk needs his main event. He's long in the tooth. He doesn't have much long left. Go ahead and give him the main event. Even if, like, I saw someone say, well, what if Roman's the last one that comes out?
Roman's not in this.
Right. But he comes out, like, he finds a way into the match. And so, like, it's Punk and Seth at the end. And that the favor is that Reigns comes in there and takes out Seth. And then we get Roman Seth at Mania to deal with that. And Punk gets his main event.
What about Cena?
I don't want Cena to get it. We are in March. We still have until December for him to get that 17th.
I agree.
I think that should be one of his last matches, if not the last match. He gets it and gives it up and says, like, all right, I did it. I'm done. I proved that I can still do it. But yeah. I don't know if I actually updated those, so I'm going to click that again just in case.
June 27th. Okay.
I don't think I did. But yeah, so I mean, we still got so long away. I don't want him to have that.
Here's
good.
June 27th, 2002 was Cena's debut.
Mm-hmm.
June 27th this year is a Friday night.
There you go. Complete circle.
Put the title on in there.
Yeah. And he's only got to hold it for 6 more months.
Cup of coffee.
My other hope, and I'm sure someone's going to say something about this, Logan Paul. And here's why. Jay needs the definitive main event. He needs the definitive main event. If it's Cody Logan Paul, you can put that in mid card and nobody's going to bat an eye at it. But if it's Cody and anyone else in that chamber, how do you not make Cody the main event?
I think
maybe Priest. Maybe Priest you could put in that because of he's not quite that top tier, but Drew, Seth, Punk.
If it's Punk, Cena. It has to be. I think they need to get away from the main event at WrestleMania and make it a guaranteed title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I agree. But so anyway, we veered off the topic here. So Sammy and KO. Was there anything else you want to say about those two?
No, that's just they're gonna absolutely just destroy each other, and it's gonna be so good. On a separate side note, the NQCC mentioned a certain tag team, and the Hardy Boys have responded.
Ooh. Good with that. Kind of figured that they would show back up at some point. I mean, why not? You're in TNA. You're WWE, alumni legends. Why wouldn't you show up at least once? The last thing you wanted to talk about is you want to talk about the women's fatal 4-way from NXT's Vengeance Day,
which was so good.
Yeah.
That whole match, start to finish, there were little hiccups, but I also think it's you have 4 people that haven't really worked together, and especially with Bayley in there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The whole match was just crazy start to finish.
Yeah.
And we predicted how it was going to end. I will say this too. They made Cora Jade look like a legitimate threat.
Which I'm really glad for. I think she needed that star-making performance to make it look like she's a threat. Especially because we see Roxy's moving up. She's already in the Elimination Chamber. She's probably going to live on main roster after that.
And so she should.
Cora being there to be a foil for a Julia, for a Stephanie Vacour. Like,
yeah.
Whoever the other person that you want to talk about, whoever that person does not go for, she needs to be that person.
So Julia wins, keeps the title.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie comes out, and I thought, okay, we're just doing the pull up the title thing.
Yeah, we're doing he who shall not be named and Eddie Guerrero in the pay-per-view moment.
That's the WrestleMania moment. And then the siren hits, and Jordan Grace makes her debut.
Mm-hmm. As a
full-time member.
Yeah,
which I was a huge fan of. And she gets in the ring, but she doesn't say anything to either one of them or indicate. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to be
just letting them know she's there.
Yes,
which is great.
I enjoyed the whole show wasn't bad.
No, the show itself was really good. I will say the women being in that spot in the main event, especially with the Jordan surprise, but even without the Jordan surprise, I do think they deserved it. That match was well above anything that was there. I personally loved the Oba and A-Town Down Under match. I thought that was fun because A-Town Down Under did not officially turn on each other, but there was a lot of like, what the hell are you doing, man? Trying to win the title. And then, Austin Theory gets, I don't know what he calls that move, but a stunner. When he does a roll-in stunner. Hit him with that and took that stunner like a champ. I love the way Austin Theory takes a stunner.
He sells so well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will go ahead and go through my three. The first one is LFG. I watched the first episode today, um, on VOD, and it's really good. Um, there's already, of course, some people online talking about how it's not as reality as they're presenting. Of course not. It's wrestling. Like it's still kayfabe at the end of the day, brother. So I'm sure they already have their favorites and they already have some spots picked out and they beef up some of the hype in it. Like the clip for the next episode has two of the guys looking like they have legit beef and they're about to have a match. I highly doubt if two guys legit had beef in this game show voice version of the wrestler had actual beef that we'd be presenting that on TV like that. So of course, there's some showmanship to it, but it was a good show overall, and the kids that they showed were really good. Um, there was one girl, I don't have her name, and I should have written her name down. She's unconventional looking, and the internet is doing what the internet does and talking bad about her. We need to stop. I've seen some of the clips. She did um, a match that was before an NXT, I believe it was, or an after an NXT, that they recorded for the show. She looks like a beast. So she's unconventional looking, but just like let's present her for her talent, not for the way she looks. We don't need everybody to look like a Barbie doll. It's okay. She seems very sweet. There was like the female Jacob Fatu, by the way, um, which I'm very excited to see what she does. But it's a good show. Plus, it's the first time we really got to see Undertaker doing a WWE project without the Undertaker gimmick and just talking about being in the ring and talking about psychology and what you need to do. So it was a good thing for that. Bubba Ray being Bubba Ray, which is just, he's a dick, but he's a dick with a point. So Mickey James is absolutely wonderful on it as one of the coaches as well. Sean's hosting the whole thing. And then you got Booker T being Booker T. Yeah, man. Every 5 seconds. But I think it's going to be a good watch. So
to see him ranked as one of the worst announcers just made me happy.
Here's the thing. I think Booker T, one of the worst announcers in the world. Black Snow from TNA, if I'm remembering the name right, which was Booker's alter ego, was amazing. Because he would get in the ring and kick people while he's still doing the announcing. He's like, Booker T's kicking him, and he kicked him again, and he kicked him again. Shit was hilarious. The other thing I want to talk about is the New Day again. I know I talked about the New Day on the last show, but they are so good. This week they caught up with Jay and thought we were going to have at least a little bit of a simpatico moment between him and them because they're tag team guys and they're trying to bust out on their own. And Jay's very similar into a Kofi Mania situation like Kofi was, and no, they decided to turn that and say, we cannot wait to see Gunther beat your ass. And he went, well, just remember, there would not have been a Kofi Mania if the Usos didn't step down.
Which is a great callback.
Yeah. And New Day sucks. Yeet. So nice little spot there. He's still wrong, though. New Day's right. Hashtag Xavier Woods is right. Hearing their promo out in the ring was nice, too. Just them like nailing it down of like even getting more visceral with it, because like they're talking about like Biggie should have kept his bum ass home and like not even showed up for work. Like they were getting into it. So I'm loving what they're doing with these guys.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to talk about was the other women's match from the AEW event. Because both of them were really good. I do want to piggyback real quick with the Mercedes one. I do think this is one of Mercedes' best matches. He did really good.
I hate her finisher. I hate that finisher.
I don't like her finisher because out of all the times she's hit it, I think I've seen it hit twice where I'm like, that was good. And that's it.
There was nothing wrong with that backstabber bank statement.
Mm-hmm.
You could have called it whatever you wanted to. It's the backstabber. I don't care what you call it.
Yeah.
You could call that finisher the bank statement, any of a number of things, and you can use that on anyone.
Yep. Yeah. This weird flatliner thing
It's just
she's doing is
stupid.
weird. It just seems so hard to pull off. Because like she even had it set up perfectly the way they did it, because they made it look like she was about to do a backslide and she stood up and did it.
Which I was the problem with that is Harley's taller than her.
Yeah. And that's where it's difficult, right? You end up in a situation, I don't know if you've seen the interview with Zendaya and Tom Holland, where they're talking about like the moments where he has to swing with her. Have you seen those? And it's like, it's awkward because you pan the camera back and you see like she's touching the ground before he is. And like she's having to wrap her legs around him because she's just so much taller than he is. So yeah. it's a situation where she couldn't really get the torque on it. She couldn't get the lift on it because Harley's taller. You need something that you can do on everybody. Now, if she wanted to do that with like a sky blue,
pretty much anybody but Harley.
Well, no, because I mean you have Queen Aminata.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do it on her because she's so much taller. Like, have a secondary thing, and I agree with you. I think the bank statement was perfect for that. Call it something else. Call it bankrupt. I don't know. Call it something.
I'm sure they could come up with something.
But anyway, so the other match, which was Toni Storm, Mariah May, such a good match, so poetic in how it was handled. It ended with her doing the hip attack like 3 times in a row, finally hitting it down with Storm Zero, getting the win. This is the only match on that card that I don't hear anybody complaining about, and I think that's because
it was the only one that was right.
Well, that too. But it's also like it's the only way it could have been. If she would have lost, then what was the point of any of this? Her comeback, her pretending to be old Toni Storm, all of that stuff would not have mattered a damn bit if she would have lost that match.
I want to know, where does she go from here, though?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. And that's something hopefully they have a plan for. AEW's not known for that, but hopefully they have a plan for that. Honestly, I'd like to see Mariah May. I'd like to see her take some time off, go down for that TBS title, because I think she still like could help that title out.
Yeah.
Which seems to be kind of floundering a little bit. Maybe she gets a newfound respect for Toni and what she's done, and we slowly tip her baby face, and then sick her on Monet.
I don't know. They need to keep her heel. They don't have near enough good faces.
Now then we got to turn Monet, and I don't want to do that. We can't heel. I've seen like one match my entire life where that works.
I think it works for them just because it's because of who it is. Like, they can absolutely make heel work because they're both so good.
Yeah.
And it's who can out-cheat the other.
Yeah. I'm with you. And that's how the other one worked. If I remember right, it was Piper versus Jake the Snake, and they were both heels at the time. And it worked because they both played heel. It was just who could out heel the other one. Usually when you get heel, someone tries to switch to like tween or babyface in the match, and then there's still a heel at the end of the match. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to do something with the TBS title because nobody cares.
So yeah, I think it was a great match though. I think the right person won. I think where Tony goes from here will say a lot of their booking decisions now, because that's been one of the best stories that we've had in the past year.
I really hope it's not Megan Bain.
I would hope not.
They have a tendency to do this,
New toy.
but I really hope it's not. Yeah, shiny new toy.
I
The
don't
only
think it will.
thing
I forget who it is, but I think she just started a thing with somebody.
she's kind of been doing a thing with.
Has it been with Stat?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that's who it was. So hopefully that keeps her away from Tony, at least for a while. Because yeah, I'm tired of the new toy complex too. Yeah, them coming in, getting a title shot. Hello, Edge. Like I don't get it. And like that whole match, like I hate being a downer on AEW, but I don't understand that match at all.
Yeah.
Like you have in the opening match, you have one of the heads of this company. And later, you have the group of people who are trying to take over this company. Why is that guy not in this feud? Why was he not the guy that Edge, brought in? Because at least then I'd understand why Edge is there. Edge is trying to help Kenny out. I'd kind of get it then.
I agree.
But like we bring in Switchblade, who's a New Japan guy. And, good on them. It's not a WWE guy, because it could have been just another WWE guy. But the idea that we're doing this with a group of WWE guys trying to help AEW by taking it over, and they're trying to teach the younger guys, the AEW talent, how to be successful and how to be main events. And to combat that, you bring Edge, who is, and I love Edge, great competitor, still can go in the ring, but he is about 10 years past his prime.
Yep.
And so
you're not wrong.
He is not the future of the business.
No, and I think this is where we get back to they're not building new stars.
Yeah.
I like Garcia, but if we're being honest, he's not on that level.
Not yet, and it's two steps. It's one step forward, two steps back, because he did the thing with Jack Perry,
right?
And we had him go nuts, and we had him tie him to a chair, and he was going to beat the living dog shit out of him, and he wins the title from him. And the next week, he still comes out and does a stupid little dance. Why are we still doing that?
Right.
Lance Storm, one of the most badass people in the business, got a dancing gimmick at one point. And for that time, for me, lost all credibility.
Yeah.
Because he's coming out there dancing. I don't care how badass you are then.
It's my same complaint with Lola Vice.
Doing the little...
Same complaint.
Yeah. Comes out there and MMAs it up, and then she does the little hip dance at the end of the match. It's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. I just... There's a lot of booking issues in my opinion, and I'm sure some people love it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yep. I personally just...
It's a buffet. I don't particularly like the pulled pork. I don't like it.
Right.
All right. Well, last thing I want to bring up in the show. I sent you a little screen grab of a tweet that I saw. And I'm thinking I might make this a thing. And maybe we'll do this. So just like maybe if you see something or if I see something, go away. We bring it up and we just have a discussion about a tweet that we see. So this tweet asked, does AEW need to make a Hall of Fame? And I'm sure this comes from the idea of we have WWE's Hall of Fame coming up here at Mania, which obviously there are some high performers that we're not going to see in the WWE Hall of Fame, at least not anytime soon. Because they do go outside of the company, but definitely not while you're current competition with them. So, what do you think?
No. Long and short, no. You have been around for a cup of coffee. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and to be clear,
who are you going to put in?
I want to be clear. This is a fan asking that question.
I know.
It's not.
I know that.
I'm saying this more for the people watching. So we got 23 people watching. Just the AEW is not talking about doing a Hall of Fame. They haven't discussed doing a Hall of Fame. But a fan just kind of brought up the question of should they build one? And
absolutely not.
Just to clarify that, go ahead. Not. Get back on your pulpit.
When you have been around for 15, 20 years, you've had somebody like a Garcia that's been, and that's assuming he doesn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
You had him there the whole time. He never left. He was your guy. Okay, cool. Then do it.
Yeah.
Right now, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. How long was TNA around before they had one? I mean, like, they've been in business for what, like 30, 40 years now? 30 years? 20, something like that?
Something. I would have to cut open R-Truth and see how many rings he has. Because that man started there. Do you get it? Because he's old. I'm old too. I watched him debut.
He didn't start there. That
was one of his first. It's not where he started, but that was his first main.
He was company. A WWE guy first. No,
we don't count the K-Quick stuff. He was there for a cup
of
coffee.
I'm just saying.
Road Dogg was like, "You rap good."
I think they were tag champs.
They were, but
anyway,
we talk about Ron Killings though. We don't talk about K-Quick.
Absolutely not. AEW should not do this. This is a stupid idea. The fan that suggested it should log off of Twitter and never come back, and they should stop watching wrestling.
Fair enough. I have a different take on it. Hold on, you'll like this. I don't think any of them need one. I think there's too many Hall of Fames as there is. I don't think WWE needs one. I don't think AEW needs one. I don't think TNA needs one. We're talking about the business, right? WWE's Hall of Fame, until recently being the last, what, five years-ish, has been WWE Hall of Fame. People that were big in the Fed. And Coco Beware.
I mean,
but that's what it was. So the idea that now they have started branching out, they've got some ECW talent, they've got some local talent. They put Abdullah the Butcher in, who had never touched foot inside WWE, but they're starting to kind of go outside of that bubble. If you look at me and even 10 years down the line and say AEW has their own Hall of Fame now, okay, who are you going to put in it? Who's your AEW Hall of Famer? Sting. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's why this is a terrible idea.
Yeah. But like even for TNA, like I think there should be one centralized wrestling Hall of Fame, which there is kind of one, but even it's kind of shady in how it works. I think there should be one centralized Hall of Fame, and it's based on performance, and it's based on your ability to make money in the company, and your standing in the company, and how long you've done it, and longevity and all that stuff. Have it be because of that criteria, not because, hey, we're in Philly this month, so this month we're going to get someone that's from Philly and put them in.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, Paul should have been in a long time ago, which is the other problem. Because there are some glaring missing people. One of them I'm hoping, because I saw recently, I don't know if it's for the game coming up or if it was for a toy coming up. But I saw that there's rumors of WWE doing an Owen thing. And so I'm hoping that maybe Marcia has lightened up. Martha, excuse me. And we're going to see him in the Hall of Fame, because that is a glaring omission.
To be fair, that omission is not on them 100% on them.
It's not. But just to show, like, because of things like that, because of things like, like they just went, I think there was a couple of guys we got Muda, that was put in the Hall of Fame, rightfully so, never stepped foot in WWE, but legend in the business.
Right. Right.
So having them go through there and have eventually an Okada in a WWE Hall of Fame, I don't know that that's ever going to happen. And that's a shame if he doesn't show in it. Omega, if he never shows in it. That's a shame. Because if you're promoting this as a wrestling Hall of Fame, you got to have some of these best wrestlers in the world. Brian, never going to step foot in a ring again. Probably, maybe, we don't know. Definitely never going to show up in a WWE ring again.
Right.
If he doesn't show up in their Hall of Fame, the misjustice.
I agree.
So
it's an absolute injustice.
That's my thoughts on it. I like the look on your face when you heard me say I have a different take, because you're like, he's going to say that they deserve a Hall of Fame.
No, I personally, my biggest thing with the Hall of Fame is they literally just letting anybody in. Mm-hmm. Like, and I understand it's hard with, I'm going to say from about 85 previous, it's hard to measure some of that stuff, because there were so many people that didn't get shots because of gender, skin color, nationality, so on. But anybody else to have one doesn't make any sense to me. I've never understood TNA having one.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a chance you're not putting AJ Styles in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not a chance.
No, not at this point.
You 100% should put Samoa Joe in. I don't know if they will, but they should.
Well, and that's another one of those. Like, he may never show up in WWE again, and if he doesn't, there's a good chance he doesn't show up in that Hall of Fame. And that's so wrong for that.
Yeah.
Chris Daniels.
I'm with you on that.
Same thing. Like, man just officially retired from the ring. He should be in a Hall of Fame on a bigger level than AEW. That's not a knock against AEW, but like you said, comparably, they've been around for a cup of coffee.
I would like to see TNA take the lead on that one.
Yeah.
And say, we know he doesn't work here. We know he'll probably never work here again. But this is so well deserved that we can't not do this.
I will one-up you on that.
Okay.
The partnership. Why not fold TNA's Hall of Fame into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
And so we get Chris Daniels. The moment he's not contracted to AEW, I get that they don't want to cross that line yet. But
which is so stupid.
It is, but that's we don't know who's holding that up. It could be both. Right. It could be one side. We don't know. We're not in that room. It is dumb if they are holding it up, though. It is absolutely insane to not work like they're working with TNA right now. Like it's showing that it's good. Now, are they kind of using TNA as a feeder system at this point? Because we took, one of their biggest female stars. Yeah.
Right.
But TNA is not at that level yet. Maybe they will be at one point, and it'll be more of a equal footing. But the fact that they're comparing them with NXT right now, it's a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
And AEW, about in that same wheelhouse. There's a couple of guys that are on their roster, though, that could easily show up on a Raw or SmackDown, and I would absolutely lose my mind about them being there.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have Daniel Garcia attack AJ Styles, and I'm gonna care.
Right.
Because I know AJ's walking away with
Yeah,
that dub.
I just feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities because somebody can't get out of somebody's way.
Mhm.
Whoever that somebody
Yeah,
is.
and that's a lot of it. It's just, it's the ego, it's the gravitas of, their competition or we're competition, depending on which side's doing the talking. But we're doing all this. We always lead up to WrestleMania and we do all this nostalgia stuff. LFG, for instance, LFG. I really wish that Billy Gunn was one of the coaches,
Right.
because he was
He
an
should be.
amazing coach on the other stuff,
Yeah.
on the Proven Ground and the
NXT. Tough enough.
Tough Enough. There we go.
Yeah.
He's an amazing coach on those. So him
Yeah.
being there would make all the sense in the world. He'd be great for the TV. Why we
Yeah.
can't work out that deal is dumb.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who it's on. I don't understand it.
I will say though, like, bully for Tony for not having them have the 90 days or the 60 days, depending on, like, I don't know how long he would normally have one, but not having them hold back from debuting after he let them
Yeah.
go. That's a great thing. And
I agree.
I've read rumors. I haven't seen anything substantial yet, though, that he has open conversation with Phoenix about trying to work that out. And if you're finally starting to, like, all right, well, maybe we need to work this out. Maybe we need to stop making internet jabs at each other and just, like, you want to go, let's figure out how we can make that happen.
Right.
Because I do feel like Penta's kind of in a holding pattern. I love Penta, but I do
They're
feel like
not going to do anything big with him.
the last couple of weeks have kind of been like, okay, we're doing the same thing. Like, can we start a story? Can we do something with him other than him just coming out there and having a good match?
Yeah.
And we're kind of doing that with the Pete Dunne Kaiser thing, but I don't think that's going to lead to anything unless it's leading to them being a tag team and then Phoenix coming in to help Penta out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that we're just kind of in a holding pattern waiting for that to happen. But so I mean, they are doing good things. I don't want every week to be an AEW bashing session. It's just they're having a lot of growing pains right now, and it hurts. It hurts to watch the show sometimes.
I don't know if it was Tony was in an interview or something. I saw that it said he has basically a writer's room, a creative team.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a creative team, they all need fired.
Yeah,
because this stuff it's not good.
Well, and
I love.
What is the creative team per se? Like, we've heard that Brian's back there kind of helping with creative. We've heard that. We've heard Mox is back there. I don't think Mox should be. Mox is currently active on the roster. I don't think he needs to be back there because now he's helping book his own stuff. Whether he is
now, if whoever's doing it, you want to have them sit down with Mox and Claudio and say, "This is how I want to do this," or "This is where I see this going."
Yeah.
Okay.
Give the suggestion, write the pages, do the Punk thing of, like, I wrote out 6 weeks of TV for Vince.
Right.
Maybe we don't take all 6 pages, but maybe look at it and go, all right, some of that sounds good.
Right.
It's kind of like, so there was an announcement made on Twitter today. Road Dogg is officially one of the co-leads of creative now.
Nice.
And some people were giving him some flack because the last time he was a creative lead, the creative wasn't great. But AJ, love AJ sometimes, responded and said, but you got to remember, there was a guy in his ear telling him what he could and could not do. Because at the time that he was a co-lead, Vince was in charge.
Yeah.
So, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. maybe we're in the same situation where those creative people are bringing things up to Tony, and Tony's looking at yeah, but we got this new toy over here. What are we gonna do with that? Like, he's the one in charge at the end of the day. So maybe that's
yeah. I don't know. I just feel like they're leaving a lot on the table, and I don't know the best way for them to fix it.
I don't know. I do want to say though, I will sell our services. We'll come in there and we'll book some stuff. You don't have to pay me $250,000 a year.
100K, I'm happy.
There you go.
And fly me to shows. Fly me to every event.
Every event.
Every event.
Maybe not every event. I can't do those 6-hour shows. Like, send me the events you're doing one show that night.
Nope. Let's go. I'm in. Let's go. I'd be so hyped up, and then when it was over, I would crash for 48 hours.
Yeah. That's about how we felt when we went. It was a great show. That next day, I was like, damn it, I want to go to bed. We were there way too long. It's sad when you're like at the end of the event and you're like, Tony, stop giving us surprises, please. I already finished. Please stop. And that's why we're not a kids show, folks. But anyway, are you good?
Yeah.
I was letting that one sink in a little bit. Yeah. Hey, someone just joined us over on YouTube. We had 25 people watching us. Hi, everybody. You're here at the tail end of the show. We're actually just about to close it out. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up, though? We did our 3 count for each of us. We talked about the news and all that stuff. We talked about the pay-per-view events and special events that have happened.
No, I'm definitely excited about coming back to NXT and catching up. It looks like a lot of stuff's happened, and it looks like it's a pretty solid show.
It does look like it's a solid show. I've been kind of trying to keep off of Twitter because I don't want to know much about it. I'm fine knowing what you told me. So just to throw that, like, I don't. That's fine. Him having a new name doesn't affect me watching it. And I saw the Moose thing by accident because I pulled up Twitter by complete habit of just pulling it up and saw that Moose was there, which that's going to be an amazing match. It might get me to care about Moose because I have yet to do that.
I know that's right.
So, well, real quick though, up next, Harvey must keep Mike out of Jessica's line of fire when he questions the firing of an executive dismissed by Harvey at the request of a client. Next on Suits. It's starting to wear off now. I watch it. You didn't pop the thing this time.
A little bit.
The time to change the show.
A little bit, probably.
Yeah. I did see a preview for the new Suits. I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I also saw a nice interview with the Green Arrow himself. He was talking about the wonderful plans that DC has.
Okay.
And he basically said, like, look, every time I pull up anything, I'm seeing like all these grand plans that you guys have and all these things that you're planning to do, but then you don't do nothing. Like, stop telling us what you're going to do and just do something. Like, you know what? That's a fair point, man.
He's not wrong.
It's a fair point.
If you're going to do it, and if you're going to do a Green Arrow and it's not Stephen Amell, I'm good.
Well, and so James Gunn has already said, and now this is turning into DC talk. Welcome to DC talk, where not all superheroes wear capes. Some wear underwear on the inside. Here's the weird thing. Like, I can't see it without it now. Like, when they do the Cavill suit, which didn't have the outside, like, it looks weird now. Like, I'm used to seeing the red trunks on the outside. But why they made that
Wait,
decision
it
in the first
didn't.
place? No,
He
his
didn't
was full blue. Yeah, so like he didn't have the red.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched Man of Steel and I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Well, at least in Justice League, I'll say that. He didn't. I haven't watched Man of Steel in a long time, so maybe Man of Steel he had them, and then they redid the suit. But anyway, so James Gunn though has mentioned though, like he has said in an interview, hey, we would love to have the CW's Flash as part of our universe, and he has said in an interview, I would absolutely come back if James Gunn called me, and so maybe we're going to get a good Flash. No,
it is all blue. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, it looks weird.
See, I don't think having that divide because I didn't notice. It looks weird because the way they did it makes. Never mind.
And now, though, also Dave Bautista recently did an interview. He's been flat out saying over and over again that like Drax is done. I'm not doing Drax
but
again.
He'll come back and do somebody else.
Well, that, and he said the only way Drax would come back is if we end up in a universe where James Gunn comes back and does another Guardians movie. I'll come back for him.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how he will, because the shape looks weird because it's not Batista, but he's in phenomenal shape. He's not in Drax shape.
No.
I'm not sure. I want him putting his body through that stress of getting in Drax shape again.
Yeah.
Because him bouncing back and forth is what caused the problem in the first place. Him getting really big for that cabin movie that he did. Just a really good movie. Have you seen that one?
Never watched it. No.
You should watch that one. It's on the thing. Like it's a good movie. He plays a good psycho. I've watched half of Captain America.
It's a good movie.
So I'm hopefully gonna finish that out tomorrow at some point, if not tonight. Really good so far though. I'm really digging it. I am a little mad at Marvel and Disney though, because we were supposed to have Seth in that movie, and Seth's not in that movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the character that the guy from Breaking Bad, I don't remember his name. The character they put him in as took over the role that they were going to have for Seth. So Seth was going to be playing the main villain, but they put
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, he was in Breaking Bad, wasn't he?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Oh, I think he was like the main drug dealer that they were always going up against, going to chicken restaurant. Anyway,
Okay.
But also, so in an interview that I heard that on, where Seth was talking, Seth was actually the one that dropped it. He also dropped this news that I'd never heard before. Apparently, Becky was supposed to be in a Marvel movie. The end credit scene for Eternals was not what it was supposed to be originally. And apparently, originally, Becky was going to be playing a role that was going to be teased in that end credit scene. So not only did we not get Seth, we didn't get Becky. What are y'all doing?
Interesting.
What are you going to do now? You're going to book the baby? And then, like, give her a thing away? I do have to ask one question, and you'll know what the question is, and it's not going to ruin anything for me. Does he look like him? Because I've seen the lower face and him talking on the phone. Does he like?
No.
He doesn't have the complexion.
Yes and no.
Okay. Because I want him to be like full hue.
So the color is kind of right. The above the eyes isn't.
Is it more like Stewie Griffin than Marge Simpson?
It's
because there's always kind of Marge Simpson in the comics. So
it was. once you see it, you'll understand. It's kind of hard to explain without messing it up.
Okay. I was really glad
Just
to see.
because.
I was really glad to hear his voice and then see the lower half of his face, because I'm like, okay, we're finally paying this off after all this time, because that character is one of the main villains for Hulk.
Yeah.
And so
I
finally paying that off is amazing.
There were little things in this one. Once you finish it, then we'll talk about it Thursday.
Okay.
But there's little things that both Grace and I were like, they could have done all of the previews without giving away Red Hulk.
Okay.
And I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know.
Yeah.
Because of the previews. But if you'd have done the previews without that, it would have made this whole thing so much better.
Made it even bigger.
Yes. Had you not given that away and given that reveal?
Yeah, and I could see that, because like so far, like Sidewinder's the big deal.
You had a villain already.
Yeah,
Sidewinder's the villain. Sidewinder and you could have done that whole just everybody thinking Sidewinder is the bad guy without revealing Red Hulk like they did in the previews.
Well, and fantasy
or
fantasy
the rest
booking,
of that.
Yeah, fantasy booking is kind of something we do from time to time. I can fantasy book this trailer too. To me, I would have revolved the trailer around old dude getting brainwashed.
Yeah.
Because then it looks like it's mirroring Winter Soldier.
Well, and they said, I did see an interview that said they were concerned about that because a bunch of people were like, it's the same movie. Okay, no, it's not.
No.
This one actually had the only Captain America movie that had a bigger opening weekend was Civil War.
Yeah. It was a big opening. It's one of those, like, we hold too much to what critics say before the people even get to see the movie. Because the critics, I think, scored it like in the 30s, if I remember right. And then opening night, it was in, I want to say, low 90s for popular score.
I am of the opinion that if critics don't like the movie, I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, typically.
That's valid. Well, and it used to be that way a lot, because they used to do, like, it was the Sundance movies that would do amazing in the critic world. And usually those ones aren't very popular. But I don't know. I found myself in my old age not disliking those low budget movies as much anymore. Like Midsommar was really good, and I didn't expect to like that.
Never watched it.
It was on the thing too. It was really good.
I know. I just
Pugh is in that one, and it was weird to see her not be
Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was weird not seeing her in like white leather and trying to kill people.
How far into the movie are you?
So the last thing I saw was Sam saw him at the prison. He told him not to come back. We found out that she's also getting reports.
And you found out who she is, right?
So if I remember right, that's where I stopped it. Is he said they were about to say like where she's actually from.
Okay. When you see that, you're gonna be like, that was a great one.
I do love.
But those are the little things. Those are the little things that should not be made public.
Yeah, I do love little touches like that they did leave out of the trailer. When he did it was very start of the movie, like opened it up with him landing and doing the sonic boom thing, but then after that, finding out that Shuri's technology for vibranium is now part of his wings. That was awesome. Because then you got to see like a little bit of like, oh, so he has the shield, which came from Wakanda, and now he has his own suit that also comes from there. They're continuing that relationship. And seeing Joaquin and the in the old Falcon suit. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's nice.
His character of like he laid out like the three guys on the bike and he was like, yeah. It's like, oh nope, nobody saw that.
Right.
That's a cool
Yeah, no,
little.
once you see who she is and who she's getting the reports from and everything, message me because you'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I like how they're tying some stuff in. I know one of the biggest complaints from a lot of Marvel fans have been like, well, we have these Eternals that have been like Celestials or whatever underneath the sea, and we haven't talked about them since that movie.
This one does a lot.
Yeah. Well, and even just the opening of like, which they showed that in the trailer. Like, we're not giving anything away on that. Like, we find out that it's adamantium that they were made out of, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And so that has us lead to, we know we're getting a Fox universe, which is a separate multiverse. But does that mean we're also going to start maybe a Wolverine in the current universe? Because now we have adamantium. So.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with it.
But anyway, all right. So we're going to go ahead and close this out, though. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. We got 26 people on. We got 2 people over on YouTube. The rest over on Twitter. Appreciate you watching us. Appreciate you being here with us. As always, we are a safe space wrestling podcast. You can follow us on all of the lovely things down below. We don't do a lot of things on the Twitch anymore. We kind of switched to just doing these live streams this way. I think when the game comes out, though, maybe we do our game stuff over on Twitch. We do our podcast stuff on YouTube, kind of separate it out that way.
One night a week doing that.
But that game is coming out very soon. The early access is on the 7th. I've already planned on taking a couple of days off that week just to kind of set everything up and get everything ready because I am ecstatic of this new game.
I think I have to be in the office that day. No, that's a Friday.
That's a Friday.
Yeah, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, I have to be in the office, which is why that whole other plan was I was like, fuck yeah. But whatever.
Take the time off, demon. But no, so yeah, I think I'm going to take that Friday and that Monday off. So I've got time to kind of mess with the game, get everything set up the way I want it to look. Because this is our new format, our new look. I haven't done it for the gaming stuff yet because I was getting this already.
Right.
So that'll give me time.
And we haven't been doing the gaming any right now. Anyway,
we haven't been. But maybe we do it Thursday. Maybe we get back into Fortnite a little bit. Been kind of theming a little bit for doing it. Got a couple of things. I had some my crew updated for the month, and so I got some V-Bucks, went in there and kind of bought some stuff, and want to see how it looks out there. I really kind of want the Avatar skin just for the glider, because the glider looks amazing.
So just get the glider.
I don't. To me, does it look as good with will it look as good with Dr. Doom flying on it? But anyway, I did end up getting, there was a literal Black Panther, not like Marvel Black Panther. Like, it was literally a Black Panther.
Okay.
I grabbed that for like $800 because it was cool looking. Also, I missed out because the Rick and Morty stuff went away, and I was wanting to get the glider for that because apparently it has its own animation. So that's kind of cool. But all right, so yeah, follow us on things below. Below our names is our personal Twitters, X's, whatever you want to call them. All our X's don't do hand gestures. That should be a song. Oh, X's don't do hand gestures.
Stop it.
I don't know. Some of them might. I don't have the best record keeping, so some of them might have. I saw a video today. Dude was flat out speaking German and doing it, and I'm like, like, you're not even trying to hide now. Good Lord. Anyway, come hang out with us every week. Tuesdays, Thursdays is when we mainly do our stuff, and then we try to live stream for pay-per-views. So come hang out anytime. Share it with your friends. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Yep.
Elimination Chamber. We doing it?
Oh, yeah, that's coming up this weekend.
The first.
The first. Yeah, I think we can do it the
A
first.
week from Saturday.
Is it somewhere special or is it a late night one?
No, it's in Toronto.
Okay, so a normal night.
Yeah.
But they've been cutting.
So unfortunately, we're not going to be doing it at noon.
Not gonna be getting McGriddles when it starts.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
They have been starting super early though, so
They have been. So maybe we'll still get out a little bit quicker than we normally are. Well, it's like the Raw stuff that I think they've settled on like a 2.5 hour standard.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they've been hitting since they started. So I think they're starting to realize that maybe you don't have to go as long as everything else. Maybe sometimes you can go a little shorter.
Well, but you've also got to figure that their commercial breaks are a minute or two as opposed to losing 30 to 45 minutes of your show to normal TV commercials.
Yeah. Hey, just for my own sake, so while we're streaming before we log it off, are you watching on YouTube right now? I know you tend to watch our stream.
I can.
Throw it up there real quick and just throw a chat in. I just want to see how this actually works in real life. Now that I've got all this set up.
I had it open until a minute ago when we started running down. Did you watch the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary show?
I have not yet. I've seen a lot of clips of it. It was going to be one of the things I watched today.
Hilarious.
And then we closed at noon. So, but it was going to be one of my things that I would
the chat box
put up there while I'm working.
For some reason.
Oh, the chat box.
Yeah. I had it for a second. Hang on. See if I messed it up.
Did you break our stream? You touched my drum set?
I know you touched my drum set. I don't have an option for it for some reason.
Well. Okay. Come on.
Hang on.
Well, I'm going to try it on this side, dude.
Skin a cat.
Well, just sometimes you gotta. Switch.
So I do have to say, she's sitting over here on the couch. I do have to say happy birthday to my amazing fiance.
Happy birthday to the fiance.
Big Mike just said something. I don't know when he said it, but.
Oh.
I don't know why it shows. Oh my god, the picture is so bad. Oh, it's because I have.
Hold on. I do see a Big Mike. I do see your Sarah comment. I'm trying to see if I got something working the way I wanted to.
Remove that. Interesting.
Kind of doing some live testing on some stuff here.
That picture is so awful.
Oh, see, that's weird. Why are you not? Okay, let me try a thing. Just for giggles, I'm going to try a thing. I don't think I've ever seen that picture, Tori.
Oh, that was so old. So old.
Big Mike says happy birthday to Mary, too.
I saw that. I appreciate it. I will pass that on.
Hey, Big Mike, we were just closing it out. While I'm kind of playing with this, Tori, you want to give him a quick rundown of what we talked about?
A lot of wrestling stuff.
a lot of stuff.
Couple of things from Grand Slam Australia. The ridiculous argument about the ring. Talked about Ricky showing up in NXT and his new name. So, just a lot of different things. That was the Reader's Digest version of the show.
Yeah. I don't want to remove it. I want to edit it. Can I edit it?
What are you doing?
Try that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we saw the Ricky Saints. That's
Fine. Knowing he's from New Orleans, I kind of am okay with it. It's not great, but I'm okay with it.
But we also discussed though that it may not have been his choice. It may have been.
That's true too.
It may not have been his choice. It may not have been WWE's choice. There's no telling why he has that. I think I see what went wrong on this, and I'll fix it for the next one. I think it tied to a different account. What I was trying to do, just kind of give some behind the scenes there, since Big Mike's there. I found a way to integrate the chat pop-ups for highlighting a chat from StreamYard into OBS. But I think I hooked it to the wrong account. Yes, I actually played around with that a little bit. And yeah, it'll be a lot easier once we get over there. I've already kind of built our channel for that when it happens. So the only thing that's kind of weird about it is that I have to join it twice to do what I want to do with it. So I join it once from my personal Google and then one from the channel's Google. But it looks nice. We did a little test with it. Mickey Sparks. I'm just glad, and I know you had a thing where you were talking about this a little bit of people having some heartburn about the names. I'm just glad it's not one of the Key and Peele list of names that we had the previous week. I'm glad it's something that makes sense for him instead of just a random name change.
It does, and it's one of those things that you just kind of gotta, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, but he's good enough; he'll get past it.
It's not going to affect him in any way.
Yeah, I will say so. We always have an anti-tribalism message on here. We haven't really talked about one this go around. So I do want to say I find it funny that WWE fans are dogging on Adam Cole because of his size and physique over in AEW, but we're excited that Ricky Starks is coming over here and kind of similar in that.
How similar are they? Cole is 6 foot 200. Ricky is 6 foot 194.
Yes, I mean,
the difference is that Ricky looks like he's in really good shape, and Cole doesn't. That's the difference. It's the same. It's the same thing as when Sheamus came back. It's the same complaint about KO. It's those same things.
Well, KO's never going to be in great shape. He has said on numerous occasions that if it goes between him dieting or eating a pizza once in a while, he's going to eat a pizza once in a while. So, which I'm right there with you, buddy.
Same.
I'd rather have pizza than abs. That's my choice. Speaking of weight loss, though, Big Mike in the chat, looking good here lately. Seeing your progress. So, good job there, sir. Super proud of you. All right. So I think we've lollygagged enough of me trying to make some technical things work. We're going to go ahead and head out. So again, catch us up on the socials down below. This will be on VOD later tonight. So if you didn't get to watch the whole thing, definitely go back and watch us. I do need to update our numbers, by the way. We are at 56 on YouTube. So thank you for the 4 that joined us since the last episode. I just didn't get to update those today. Sorry, dog was making a weird noise. But with that being said, I'm Mike, and this is my tag team partner, Tori. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at 2.